This episode is brought to you by our friends at Ninja Crispi, a brand new 4-in-1 portable glass air fryer that's the ultimate cooking solution for prep, cooking, storing and cleaning. Well, welcome to Binge. I'm Harry Judd.
And I'm Alex Jones. Now, in this episode, Harry has been rewatching all of the Avengers.
Yes, I have, and I bloody love it. Alex has been watching The Search for Instagram's worst con artist.
It's amazing. And our guest is restaurateur, podcaster, and son of our national treasure, Terry Wogan. It is Mark Wogan. He is brilliant. He tells us how somebody very famous tried to hit on his wife.
Yes, and he has some great recommendations, including some brilliant hidden gems.
Well, before we get into the episode, let's chat about the Ninja Crispi. And the good news is you can win one. Charlie was the most excited I've ever seen him when I took this home.
And Charlie, I think you need to let our listeners know, I didn't know this, is actually a chef.
Well, he was a chef, yes. I mean, he's a trained chef. And he absolutely loves the big Ninja. So he doesn't use our oven anymore.
Really?
And he said, I think people get confused, but what it is a super, super hot oven and he cooks everything in it. And when I brought this home, honestly, I should have bought him one for Christmas while they weren't out. But he would have loved that so much. He's like, this is amazing because you've got the two little boxes, haven't you? Nearly like Tupperware, like the big one and the small one.
Yeah.
So you can prep stuff and take it with you. You could, do a big one for him. He's got a big appetite. And then make a small one for me and I can take it off to work. It's like really easy, isn't it?
And also what's quite fancy about the glass containers is you can literally cook and then transfer it onto your dining table.
And also you can bang all of it in the dishwasher.
I crispied up some broccoli this week.
And?
I mean, amazing.
Did you put anything on it?
I did. A little bit of olive oil, sprinkle of salt, some chili flakes. Yeah.
You know, my favourite thing that you sent me this week was a picture of you in onion goggles. Was that the night?
That was the night I used the crispy.
So when you said that you use onion goggles, I was like, no, he doesn't.
You didn't believe me?
No.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, alas, the picture arrived of you looking absolutely nutty
amazing.
bonkers. I showed it to Charlie and he was like, why has he got those on? I was like, they're onion goggles. He was like, he needs to get a grip.
Do you know what? The onions were so strong this week, they were even like infiltrating the goggles.
Where are you buying them?
I can't remember.
Just go to the supermarket, they're fine.
No.
Most people cut them without the aid of onion goggles.
I cannot cut onions without goggles, seriously. But yeah, I'm stoked about the crispy. I'm the chef in the Judd household. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a chef. I cook the food. And I love things crispy, so this is ideal. And I'm thinking I might add this to our rider as well. On tour.
Yeah, well, do you know what I was thinking? Because I obviously am in work quite late of an evening. Don't get home until about 8:30, 8:45. God, you're sleeping by then. But I could take this to work.
You could
Pop a little salmon in, bit of asparagus.
Cook pre-one show cook?
Yeah. The kids as well, they do sports at different times in the week.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like Ted will not get home until 6:30, 7, and the other two have already eaten. And then it's really quick to make something fresh or to put it in and just crisp it up. Now, the exciting thing is that we are going to give you a chance to win your very own Ninja Crispi. Yes, Bingees, you have a chance to become a Crispy.
All you have to do is listen to our Bingees episode that drops on Thursday, the 13th of March, and we'll give you all the details then, so don't miss it.
How's your week been, Harry?
Good, yeah, pretty good. I mean, last night at about 11:45 at night, I stubbed my toe really badly. Like, really badly.
Oh,
I
painful.
shut the door and I pulled the door open and I got my toe, like my foot, stuck in between the door and the floor. And it like ripped off a bit of my nail. And I was on the floor, but trying not to make any noise because Izzy was asleep. So I was literally going...
Did you feel faint?
No, it was all right. But then I sort of plastered it up and then I got into bed and it was literally just throbbing. Oh.
Let's move on. What have you been watching then?
What have I been watching? Oh, let me just fill you in quickly.
Oh, yeah?
I went to a kid's birthday party on Saturday, laser tag.
Yeah.
So happy because they needed a couple of dads to fill in.
Ideal.
So, and I just couldn't help myself.
Was it amazing?
It was cool. But I basically was Eddie Redmayne in The Jackal for about an hour and a half. And I was just taking out 7-year-olds left, right and centre. Just, there was a couple of 9-year-olds as well, like the older brothers that thought they were pretty cool. I taught them a lesson.
No. Well, you know now what to do on your 40th.
Laser tag.
Laser tag. Perfect.
Honestly, it was so good. I was literally just, literally just taking people out. And I had no shame of taking these sort of 7, 8-year-olds out the game. This week, I've watched 3 Marvel films, 3 of the Avengers films. My son, again, Kit, is pretty much all he talks about is Avengers at the moment. And he's asked me so many questions. I was like, right, I'm going to have to delve into these films so I can actually answer him. But to be honest, I love them. I absolutely love them. I watched Avengers Assemble, skipped Age of Ultron, which I don't think is as good. And then I watched Infinity War and then Endgame.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like,
your bag.
Well, no, but it doesn't sound like, a chore for you, does it?
No, it really wasn't.
No. I was going to say, though, you know what's fantastic? Our boys also love anything to do with the Avengers, and we've got them basically an encyclopedia. Have you got it?
Yes.
With all the characters.
Oh,
so whenever Ted has got a tricky little question, and let's face it, they daily, on Avengers, we just get the book out, and then we go and have a look.
Yeah, I'm forever Googling things like, if Thanos didn't have his Infinity Gauntlet, would he beat Hela in a fight? And who's stronger, Hulk or Thor with Stormbreaker? Or, so I thought it's time to delve back into the Marvel films. But I absolutely love them. They're amazing.
Well, I was calling Thanos Vanos for a long time. And then last night I was reading the boys like a comic book, Marvel book. Terrible. So bad. Not Roald Dahl.
No,
terrible.
No. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, Ted, it's Thanos. And he was like, Mama, we told you 1,000,000 times it's like not Vanos. Yeah.
Classic. It's like me and Hermione.
Hermione, yeah.
From the Harry Potter
Hermione
books.
And Vanos.
And yes. What about you? What have you been up to?
Well, we've had a bloody awful week. I won't lie to you.
Oh, really?
Can you swear on a podcast? Terrible week. So basically, we came back from skiing with no broken bones. And then Annie broke her arm.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Ow.
Do you know why?
What?
Because her and Kit were reenacting gladiators on the sofa.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They got on an arm each, clashed in the middle, and somehow Kit fell against Annie's elbow. And you know, because the cry is different.
Ooh.
And we really tried to brush it under the carpet, like the good parents we are. But the next day, she was still beside herself and it was swollen. Ooh. No, broken. Clean break at the elbow.
Really? Oh, yeah. God.
So plaster cast.
Plaster cast.
Past her elbow, but ready for the next layer.
What?
She's also got chicken pox.
Oh.
And she's covered in it. So she now is very itchy.
Under the plaster cast as well.
Under the plaster cast and all over her, and she can't move her arm.
Oh, that is.
I think that's 10 out of 10 for parent in hell.
That is shocking.
Shocking.
Oh, God.
Do you know how many times she's been to nursery this month? Once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
So the broken arm happened last weekend. And then on Friday, I thought, she's got a few blisters, lover, where the sling is. No. Woke up Saturday. I mean, she looked like a pizza. She
How long
was
does it
covered
last?
in them.
How long does it last?
Well, Kit had it before we went skiing. So about 5 days, but you've got to keep them off until they scab over. It's been a bit of a week and we've tried to be, zen and do some planting of vegetables. This is our new thing.
I was very impressed by that.
But a watermelon, Harry, is that going to work in this country? No, it's not. What a waste of money in the garden centre.
Did you buy watermelon seeds?
We did. By the way, why are they selling it in Berkshire?
Is it quite admin heavy? Because it doesn't really appeal to me. I can't.
It's not that admin heavy, and it's a good activity for them.
I say, though, your Insta stories were looking like you are living the good life.
The good life.
Because I was like, that's impressive. I think it was Ted in his football kit with his goalkeeping gloves on, and everyone was kind of getting involved with the potting. I was like, Al, you're doing something right.
Listen, it was a nice hour and a half, and then we went inside to start on the homework. Oh, God, it took a turn.
Yeah.
And then middle of the night with Whingy McWhinge, Annie, like so itchy and couldn't move her arm.
Oh, God.
I was glad to come here.
And have you been able to watch anything?
Not much, but I tell you, I did watch something absolutely brilliant. It's called The Search for Instagram's Worst Con Artist on Netflix.
Oh, I saw that in the top 10.
Oh my goodness, Harry.
Good.
It's amazing. It's about, basically in a nutshell, this girl called Belle Gibson, who's an Aussie, and she's on Instagram and she tells her followers that she's been diagnosed with a malignant brain tumour and that she's got 4 months to live. Terrible. She hasn't.
Oh my God.
And then she amasses all these different followers because she says with a healthy diet, you can live longer too. And obviously she doesn't die. She lives and she does, she puts
it
recipes
down to her
online.
diet.
And it's all about wellness. And then she has a cookery book that's a massive hit around the world that's published by Penguin, like a big publishing house. And then she has this wellness app called Whole Pantry, which is massive. And so people literally are obsessed with her and follow all this advice.
That is awful.
Awful. And Apple were about to put her app, the first one, on the Apple Watch. This is how big she is.
Oh my God, she's just living this deep lie.
And then a mixture of kind of journalists and one of her friends, and they'd fallen out, kind of started thinking,
hang on a minute,
this story doesn't add up, and did a bit of a deep dive. And then in a massive interview, this journalist exposed her. And she still didn't really admit.
What? So the journalist, a face-to-face interview was like, hang on a sec.
Yeah, and they speak to neurology experts and they're like, it cannot be a thing. You cannot treat very serious cancer like that with a healthy diet. It's just not enough. So how many people have died because of it?
Oh my God.
And basically she's got away with it.
Not anymore.
I think she had a fine.
Oh my God.
But there's a drama called Apple Cider Vinegar based on it as well. That's also on Netflix.
Oh, I've seen about this. That's what it is it?
Yeah, so that is okay. It's a bit slow. I prefer the documentary.
Right, okay.
But both are pretty good.
Talking of slow, by the way, Paradise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, come on.
But what happened to the Underworld City or Underground City?
I'm not really invested in any of the characters. I find the kind of music, just this like low pulse, just a bit intense and a bit dull, and it's very sort of bright and kind of distorted almost.
This is a complete U-turn.
I know, I was raving about the first episode. It was really good. I don't know, I think maybe I'm going to put it down to the fact I think I'm a dopamine addict and I just need more, because I'm just like, I found myself hitting this fast forward 10.
Fast forward? That is not a good sign,
And I was
Harry.
like, come on, something happened.
Just park it. There's loads of choice. You don't need to waste your life.
But I don't, if you've come here for recommendations, don't listen to me because loads of people love it. So that's just my take. So
okay, but you're now, you're held in high esteem now.
High esteem,
Anyway,
Sorry,
don't watch
Disney.
Paradise. Absolute rubbish. Should we get a guest on?
That would be good.
Come on then. Joining us now is a restaurateur and broadcaster who is following in the legendary footsteps of his father, the very dear Terry Wogan. He's the co-founder of Home Slice Pizza, host of the podcast Spoon In, and you can hear his dulcet tones on Virgin Radio Chilled every weekend from 2 till 6. It's the wonderful Mark Wogan.
Hello there.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Very dulcet tones, I must say.
Well, I mean, it's a sort of family thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you think it is genetic, or do you think just growing up listening to your dad, you kind of picked up those tones?
No, the weird thing is, so my mother could never tell my brother and I apart on the phone. Mm-hmm. And my sister makes quite a lot of money as a voiceover artist.
Really?
Yeah.
Does she really?
Yeah, we all got a voice.
So what about your son, Harry? Can he speak like
he's
you?
got a good voice. He wants to act.
Ideal.
Can you listen to yourself talk? Because I personally can't.
No.
Oh, you still don't like your own voice?
Don't like my own voice.
Okay.
I don't think anybody does.
I've never watched an episode of Spooning with Mark Wogan.
I was going to say, that's the last time I saw you in that posh restaurant in the middle of London. And you gave me a spoonful of something absolutely horrific. What was it? It was like a lamb dinner on a spoon.
What was it? I can't remember what you didn't like. What didn't you like?
Oh, all sorts of things. Lamb, I think.
Yeah.
But we'd been chatting for so long, to be fair to the amazing chef, the spoons had gone cold.
Yeah, that is always a slight issue with the podcast, is by the time anybody gets to eat anything, it's stone cold.
But it was really fun. I loved being on the podcast. Thank you for having me.
You were a great guest and a proper sport. Because we do blindfold Are you going to come on, Harry?
I'd love to.
Oh, Harry, it's
Do you know,
amazing.
I listened to your episode with Jay McGuinness because I love Jay. I've done quite a few things with him, and it was just I was on my run, and I was just like, an hour this morning just running, listening. It was just really relaxed, just chilled conversation, and
Well,
I
I
really
think it's that
enjoyed
thing
it.
when you sit somebody at a table, they kind of, and you feed them, they sort of generally are more relaxed. So it's
Yeah.
got a nice sort of feel to it. It certainly feels nice to me. And it's much easier than running restaurants for a living.
Yeah, I can imagine.
No, it's a very nice podcast to be on. Very relaxing.
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll have the same experience today, but you
Yes,
can fill
well,
in the guest questionnaire on the way out. Today's a big day for you. No sugar.
I know.
Why?
Well, because I have recently stopped smoking.
Oh.
I'm about 2.5 weeks in.
Okay.
And mentally, the raging addict inside me had turned to sugar as a replacement. And I've now decided that needs to stop. I ate myself sick with dairy milk last night.
Dairy milk.
Yeah, to the point where I woke up at 3 in the morning
God,
with
Mark is
indigestion.
very sickly,
Do you know,
dairy
Mark,
milk.
I think you and I are quite similar. I have a history of having to give things up, and I've had problems with sugar as well.
Yeah, no.
Now, I have to say, Mark, you're going to love this, Harry, gave me a very, very good recommendation.
Oh, when?
This is the thing I took away from the podcast when I went on.
okay.
He said there's this amazing cheese place,
Okay.
right? Isn't there? By Henley. What's
Yep.
it called? The Cheese Shed?
The cheese shed.
So what happens in the cheese shed?
Hang on. It's like a beautiful barn, isn't it?
Let me explain to you
Go
why
on.
it's so good.
Okay.
All right. So you arrive at the Nettlebed Creamery. The cows are there. The creamery's there, and then right there is somebody making the finest cheese toasty known to humanity.
Really?
Yes, it is unbelievably good with the cheese that is made there. So it's that kind of whole, the French would call it terroir. It's all coming straight from the land onto your plate, and it is phenomenal.
Honestly, we went on the 23rd of December. Isn't that your
That
birthday?
is my birthday, Al.
Happy birthday. I was having a cheese toasty thinking of you. So we went with a group of friends that live in Oxfordshire. So we met there and we went for a lovely walk because there's a good walk you can do with the dogs.
Yeah.
Came back and had a cheese toasty and picked our cheese board for Christmas. It was the perfect day out. Thank you, Mark Wogan.
Can I just say, Alex, you were not 5 minutes away from my house there. Didn't get a phone call. Come and join us.
Well, had I have known that, you would have been there having
Yeah,
a
well,
coffee. You
yeah,
wouldn't have
well,
wanted
literally-
to. Kit was playing up. It was awful. I mean, it sounds lovely on paper, but he was being a pest. It was cold. But we had a lovely time. Thank
It is
you.
phenomenal.
Whilst talking
They're
about
delicious.
food, whereabouts is Home Slice Pizza?
Well, there are two.
There are two. Nice.
There is one in Neal's Yard in Covent Garden, which was the original one, which we opened 13 years ago. And then there's a big one in the city in the Bloomberg building, right next door to Cannon Street Tube Station.
Nice.
And it's 20-inch pizzas, whole by the slice. And it's a quality product. I can stand by the product all these years later. And I just love it. It's great.
And how hands-on are you then, Mark, with the restaurants?
Oh no, I'm purely in appointed capacity now.
Lovely.
But I did my time. I did 20 years as a chef.
And what's your favourite toppings?
Well, I always go with the margarita
Same.
because if you can't cook a margarita, you shouldn't be cooking pizza.
Right, let's move on to telly, Mark. Come
Okay.
on. Are you a big telly watcher?
Massive.
Okay.
You're a
telly
big
addict.
Problematically so. It's that problematic thing where if I get into it, I could sit up all night doing it, even though I've got to get up and do something the next day.
Yeah.
So I'll be there at 2, forcing my eyes open at 2 a.m., carrying on watching it. And no, I don't want it released once a week. Stop doing that. I blame HBO.
What's the thing that you've binged hardest in the last couple of weeks?
Well, currently binging Dope Girls.
Oh, I've seen that advertised. What is it?
Well, do you know what? It's the same guy who did Peaky Blinders.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Good
it's got
start.
that thing where they blend sort of modern themes with sort of historical stuff. And it's good, it's interesting, but it's a bit silly in parts. Like to the point where we haven't quite got to series 2 and I might not do it.
Are you one of these people who feels like you have to stick with it once you've started then?
Yes. My good lady wife, Susan, is a little bit more cutthroat. She's like, this is I'm not watching it.
That's me.
So do you watch together? Do you always? Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely watch everything together. If somebody watches an episode without the other one there, that is punishable by death.
Yeah, it's a bit like that in our house, to be honest.
What do you mean you
I
carried
thought
on
you were going to
watching
say
it?
divorce, but you went one step
Well,
further.
no, but the other thing as well is, because I don't know if this is similar in your house, it's like when we sit on the sofa, around about 9 o'clock, Susan is guaranteed to fall asleep. So I
Right.
spend my time waking her up so we can carry on.
Yeah. And
watching.
rewinding the end in
yeah,
our
I
case.
feel
yeah.
quite lucky because me and my wife have such different tastes, so we rarely watch things together. So I can,
really?
so I can just get on and watch it on my own.
But with a busy life, there's too much separation going on. That's almost where we own how we come together.
no, we next to one another,
Yeah.
but on separate screens.
Oh wow.
What about Landman then? Because we've had lots of people on the podcast recommending this. It's been quite a hit, doesn't it?
I love it, right? And there's two reasons I love it. One, where would binging TV be without Taylor Sheridan, who's the man behind all of these things?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
His name pops up a lot,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Didn't he do Yellowstone?
He did
Oh,
Yellowstone.
what a load of shit.
no,
Sorry.
Alex,
So what-
I'm sorry.
sorry, what?
I know,
Sorry.
Mark.
What?
This is what I'm dealing with.
I might leave.
Yellowstone's amazing, isn't it?
It's incredible.
brilliant.
God, it's slow. So
It's
slow.
just not slow.
It's a western, like somebody walking on a horse. That pays. Dun, dun,
Someone walking on a horse.
Dun, dun. No thanks.
I'm not quite sure what to say to this.
No, listen, I'm with you, Mark.
Somebody described it very well. It's like Dallas meets Succession.
Oh, okay.
But if you imagine, it's very attractive women sleeping with very ugly rich men.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah. Billy Bob Thornton actually hit on my wife once.
No
Yes,
way.
on our honeymoon.
No.
Yeah,
Hang on,
we were
we're
in
gonna
LA.
have to-
we
we're
were in
gonna have
Fred
to hear the whole story.
We were in Fred Siegel in LA. I wandered up looking at some shirts up that way. I turned around and Billy Bob is looming over my wife in a very salacious way.
What did Susan say?
She was quite pleased.
Did she
She
say,
was.
Mark, I'll be back in a couple of hours?
I'm just going to spend the afternoon with Billy. In Landman, he has some of the best lines, throwaway lines.
Yeah.
And it's funny in a quite a dark way, but it's also sort of, I don't know, it gives me a certain amount of hope that there is a shifting sand in perhaps a heavy level of political correctness, because there is nothing politically correct in this series at all.
Okay, well, Landman, I watched the first episode and really liked it, so I might go back to that.
Oh, do.
Thank you, Matt. I think
Do.
you'd
It's
like
worth
it.
it.
I just need to get on
It
it.
just keeps giving.
Should we do hidden gems? Because you've
Go on
got
then.
something here. I've got it written down. Wayne.
Oh my God.
I mean, it sounds like the worst thing ever.
No,
Wayne.
it is. Wayne is phenomenal.
What is
What's
it?
it on? What is it?
So I think you can now only watch it on YouTube, or maybe it was originally on Star.
Okay.
And it is, when you start watching it, you think, oh, this is a sort of rite of passage teen thing. It is so funny, so dark. Every single character in it is brilliant and brilliantly written. There isn't a duff character in it. And I think it came about when Google started making, dramas.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think one day they were all sitting on their bean bags and they just went, oh, we're not going to do this anymore. So it was never made. And nobody's picked it up for another season. Yeah, I promise you, watch it. It just is magical and
I have
funny.
intel that you can actually watch it on Amazon Prime.
Can you?
Yes.
You can watch it on Amazon
So
Prime.
is Wayne the main character then?
Yeah.
Presumably?
It's about this kid, Wayne, who's a bit of a sort of rebel.
Okay.
And it follows his sort of journey over a period of time. It is so funny. There's characters in it who are in it for sort of 5 minutes who are brilliant, and then they just disappear and they're gone.
Really?
Everything is so well written and put together. It is genius.
Apart from your brilliant podcast,
Yes.
Boomin, what other podcasts do you enjoy? When do you listen?
So I kind of like a bit of sort of self-help or interest stuff. So Hoobman Lab, I really
yes.
like.
This is a big one, isn't it, for that?
Because I now live out near the Nettlebed cheese shed.
By the cheese shop.
I commute into London most days. So I do radio on the way in, and then on the way home, I do audiobooks or podcasts and that kind of
Nice.
thing. And that's when I listen to podcasts, is in the car.
What radio are you listening to, first of all, on the
I
way
listen
in?
to Chris Evans
Yeah.
on the way in the morning. It's a good show. It's a great show. It's one of the last true broadcasters.
Along with Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Along with Alex Jones,
Thanks,
obviously.
Mark.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
And
look,
Harry Judd's Magic
I
FM.
mean,
No, I agree.
and Mark Wogan on Virgin Radio Chill.
let's give ourselves
the
all a
world's
shout
oldest
out.
Nepo baby.
Yeah, but you came in, you did your thing, and you did it well before Nepo Baby was even a term.
Invented.
You said it.
So you got away with it.
What I worked out was, at the point where I could have followed in my dad's footsteps, no one was going to take me bloody seriously anyway. I mean, when your father is a national institution,
A treasure.
what are you going to
could say.
do? No.
I'll do exactly
thanks.
what he's done,
I'm
yeah.
going to do what he does. Everyone will go, no, don't bother, mate.
What is Michael Singer? Or who is Michael Singer?
Michael Singer is a man who makes spirituality accessible.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Can it
abs-
be accessible?
No, it is. And I think it's something that we all miss. I was raised as a Catholic, which made me find all forms of religion abhorrent. The older you get, I think the less you realise you know. And somebody recommended his book to me called The Untethered Soul, right?
Oh, I've heard about that.
Right. And it is interesting. It's an interesting take on kind of just letting go of rubbish that you don't need to be carrying around with you, which we all do because we're fed a diet of rubbish through things that we carry around in our hands and listening to podcasts and all that kind of stuff and watching TV. And it's just a moment to kind of pause in the day and not be involved in the madness that is, I think, there's that other one, the chimp. You're in a chimp.
Oh, yes.
I call it something else that begins with a C, but we won't mention that here. And it never tells you the truth about yourself, about anyone around you, all that kind of thing. So what Singer does brilliantly, he has this whole concept of staying open, or as he puts it, not closing. So you stay open to life, open to thing. And I know this might sound a bit woo-woo and a bit that kind of thing, but his podcast is really interesting and his book is really interesting in terms of a connection with a power greater than oneself.
Okay, well, that's a good... I like that as a recommendation.
No, it's just a different thing.
Have a little go
and it's
of
stuff that people don't talk about because they're embarrassed to, or they think they sound silly if they do.
Yeah.
I'm too old to care.
Fine.
He sounds like a nutcase. Yes. And I'm happy with that.
Mark, let's do your desert island binge.
Okay.
So we ask for your favourite television show, or not your favourite, but one you take you to a desert island, favourite podcast, and a book.
Right. So my TV show would probably have to be Breaking Bad. Because you can go back and watch that.
Which I did recently.
Yeah. And so and there's enough of it. Was there 5, 6 seasons?
Six seasons.
Six
Yeah, I
seasons.
Too
think.
much.
No.
Wow.
Well, I mean, if you're on a desert island, what else you got to do?
Well, I might even get involved if I was on a desert island. I don't like it, though.
As
to
you
be
can tell,
honest.
Al has terrible taste in TV. So,
but
just
hold on,
ignore
what didn't
her.
you like about that?
Oh, I liked it up until the third series. Then I thought it was just going on a bit.
Now, I do agree with you slightly. It got a little baggy season 3.
Thank you.
And then, but tightened itself up for 4 and 5.
Well,
and
they'd
all the
lost
way
me
through
by
to-
then.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
cutthroat, Mark. I'm like Susan.
Yeah, no, you're
I've
right.
moved
Susan.
on.
Yeah, this is rubbish. Or, in Susan's case, sci-fi. Won't watch that.
No, no,
She won't watch
ever.
sci-fi.
She won't watch sci-fi.
Absolutely
No.
not.
Whereas I love sci-fi.
I'd watch a bit of sci-fi, yeah.
Absolutely.
No, it's made for men.
And then, what's the other one you want to know?
What podcast are you taking to the desert island to listen to?
Well, I think it would either be Huberman Lab or the Michael Singer one.
Sounds like maybe the Michael Singer one might be a good one.
Yeah,
To get philosophical on your desert island.
Well, I think, are we on this desert island on our own?
You are, I'm afraid, Mark.
Yeah,
then you
you're
need
Robinson
that. You need
Crusoe.
that, yeah. Yeah. No amount of biohacking is going to
Is
make you
gonna
feel
help you.
better on a...
No.
on a just like, I don't want to live forever. I'm on a desert island on my own.
Exactly.
What are you going to read then, Mark?
I think it would have to be the complete works of Charles Dickens.
Nice, very Christmassy.
Well, no, it's not so much that. It's just like there are so many multi-layered stories in those, and the way he writes is extraordinary. Because something I discovered quite a while ago was reading before you go to sleep.
Yeah, that's been around for a while.
I know. I'm saying I discovered. I'm not saying I
fine.
invented it. Because it just shuts you down.
Yeah.
But it has to be fiction. You can't read anything other than fiction
No.
at bedtime.
Agree.
20 minutes, oh, I'm ready now. And that's, it's the first. Dickens was real escapism as well. For reading it now, then it was kind of the time he was writing it. It was almost, documentary style, but. It is Christmas Carol is an amazing book.
Incredible.
It's a truly amazing book. I think if we were looking at more modern, I might go Birdsong by
Nice.
Sebastian Faulks.
Yeah.
It's a great book because you've got a love story, you've got a part of a war you didn't know anything about,
Yeah.
which was tunnelers.
That's pretty well rounded, that book, isn't it?
And it's great. And I think, but I would always go back, maybe a bit of P.G. Wodehouse.
Nice.
Do like
These
a bit
all
of
look very good on a shelf as well.
Yeah, no. Well,
they?
You don't have to read them.
I mean,
They make you
don't
look
underestimate how much what other people think. No.
It's all about the shelf attraction.
Well, the shelf attraction or whatever. I mean, I haven't got any shelves at the moment.
Why not?
Well, we moved house about 4 years ago, and all of my book collection, or my look how well read I am, is all still in boxes.
Yeah, ours are too, actually. They're in the garage getting damp.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
We
Well,
keep
get the
saying we
Dickens
must
out.
get the Dickens. Excellent.
Get your Dickens out.
Get your Dickens out for the assembled.
Well, you can download Mark's podcast Spooning wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, you can hear him every weekend on Virgin Radio Chilled. Mark, thank you.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you. It's been lovely to see you
very
again.
nice to chat
Nice
to
to
you.
meet you, Harry.
And you.
And we'll have you on Spooning as well.
That
We'll
would be
blindfold you soon.
lovely. Yes, please.
That was a very enjoyable conversation.
Well, that was a nice chat, wasn't it?
It was a really nice chat. He's a nice bloke, isn't he, Wayne?
He's... Please don't edit that out. Please don't. Right, just so you know, for our listeners, obviously Mark has left the building and we're picking up off the back of that interview. It's gonna
One
be-
of his recommendations was Wayne. Oh, it was a hidden gem. I never heard of it, to be fair.
Well, yes. One of his hidden gem recommendations was Wayne. His name is Mark, Alex. He also recommended Landman. We've heard that a few times. I need to get on that. That's Paramount Plus. Dope Girls.
Yes, although he wasn't that keen on that, was he? He said it's a
No,
bit slow.
he wasn't.
And Michael Singer's podcast.
Yes.
We should have a listen to that one. But my favourite recommendation from Mark, and he's recommended this to me before and I saw it through, was the cheese toasties at the Nettlebed Creamery just outside Henley. You'd be a fool to miss it.
Who apparently is visited by Mary Berry every Sunday.
Well, good enough for the dame, good enough for us.
Exactly. Right. One thing to remind you, don't forget, on Thursday, we will be telling you how you can win a Ninja Crispi.
That is exciting, isn't
Yes,
it? And they
it
are
is.
brilliant. But in the meantime, that is all we've got time for. Don't forget, we would love to hear about what you are watching, listening, or reading right now. Tell us, email us, hello@bingepodcastofficial.com. Also, the WhatsApp number is in the description.
Yes, it is. Binge is a Viral Tribe entertainment production. Join us next time as we help you sort the binge-worthy from the...
Bin worthy. Bye-bye.